Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Day. There's so much in this life to feel passionate and powerful about. There's so much here for us to experience and to learn. And sometimes, like this beginning of this season, it's felt slow and painful and hard and reflective and all of the things that oftentimes we feel really uncomfortable having to sit and be in. And I just want to validate that and recognize it as we go into this week's astrology. Last week, Mars went direct, which is great. We're going to start, whatever we learned about our anger, learned about how we show up for ourselves and defend ourselves and move through time and space as our own warriors is going to serve us this week. As also Mercury's going direct. I can hear its death rattle because it was a hell of a weekend for me. Hard. Not as much with things happening, but just emotionally feeling this retrospective of things that I don't know if I'm ready to let go of, or this also feeling of being really lost in the dark, feeling like I don't know what the direction is supposed to be or where I'm supposed to go. And it's so interesting because I'm doing a dream board seminar, like free 7-day seminar with Colette Baron-Reed, which has been amazing, and a 21-day meditation thing with Oprah and Deepak Chopra, right? We're doing these things that's supposed to be movement oriented, and yet I feel so stuck still. And so I'm leaning into this righteous trust in the universe right now. This notion of all of the mountains we're carrying, we're only supposed to climb them, sticks out. And I say it a lot at the readings I give to others, because these things that we choose to hold and carry in our hearts don't have to be so heavy. It's like this song I've been listening to by the Ballroom Thieves called I'm Around, which I absolutely love, that says, and the darkness lives in you like it lives in me, and the darkness fills us up till we're empty. And life just ain't that hard. We're making it harder for ourselves. And I hear that. How even the smallest spark of hardship or grief or torment or not knowing where to go or energy stalling, which has been so many planets have been retrograde for so long, that I think there is this feeling of being collectively lost in the woods. And we have had solar flares and like big energy happening that takes from us as little spirits here. I mean, those airlines had to get grounded because of the computer malfunctions here in Ashland, Oregon. The wind has been so prolific. It's almost like it's singing the things that we're needing and wanting and getting back, but we're not seeing it yet. Weather is so powerful because it can often be a reflection of the collective. It can be a reflection of what is needing to shift and change. And the good news is this week is so beautiful. It's so beautiful because the death rattle of Mercury retrograde is happening. We're going Mercury direct this week. Uranus is going direct this week. We change out of Capricorn. We're going into Aquarius, which is about innovation and new. And then the new moon in Aquarius is this weekend. So it's like so much new. And then we have some tricky spots in the middle. Wednesday, the Sun and Pluto are meeting up, and that is really hard because it's almost like this big spotlight shining down on something that before we couldn't see. It's like it's showing us something this week. It's like, look inside, and this is a problem. And the cool thing about Pluto is that it really doesn't mince words. Like, if it's a problem, it's a problem. And even if you know it or not, it's going to show it to you. And that's pretty, it's a pretty profound energy. So it's like, we start the week with Mercury still a little bit retrograde. Then it goes direct. But then the Sun and Pluto are trying to show us this big, deep thing that could be intense. Like, we could have an intense week. The moon's in Scorpio right now. It could be intense. But I always think that as the moon moves, from Scorpio into Sagittarius, it's almost like all of this depth and intensity moving into knowledge and philosophy. And that's how I kind of see this week playing out, right? Is that there's so much, we're such intense beings when things are intense. where we put our thoughts and how we're spending our days, and that feeling in the new year of we want to get up and go, but that's not what the energy has been to start. Well, here is kind of a redo of the new year, because this is when all the things are starting to go direct. And this is when Pluto's showing us this big thing. And then Saturn and Venus are going to meet up on Friday, and it's like, oh, Venus and Saturn kind of are like on opposite sides of the spectrum. Venus rules the night and Saturn's in the day. And it's like, I don't know. I see like a massage for your hard work. If you're working hard, then this Saturn and Venus coming together is what rules. What new ways of being do we need to do in order to bring beauty into our everyday rituals? And how do we need to be disciplined in beauty? How do we need to be disciplined in our relationships in order to commit? Like, to me, this is righteous commitment coming in. So here's Pluto coming in and showing us all this deep. Here's Saturn coming in and showing us all this commitment. And then all of this forward motion and innovation from Aquarius energy, this new moon. And then Uranus going direct in Taurus. It's like, oh my goodness. It's like, however we've been doing, stability is righteously going to be changing. Or it's almost like we're going to find this solution that we would have never found had we not been on the journey that we're on right now. And I love that, and I hate that, and I love that, and I hate that. It's like, why can't I just have the answers in my back pocket? Why doesn't it just work like that? Why can't I just know and then carry on thus? But that's just not the world right now. That's not where our astrology is going right now. A lot of things are shifting in our collective that haven't been this way in decades, in so many, like in lots of amounts of time. It's going to be this like big, broad, new, bold energy. And are we ready for it? And I think it's why this year kind of got started on a slow front, is because, when things are about to change big, we need to rest up. And I don't know if I'd call this period of time restful for me, but it's certainly been introverted and quiet. It's certainly been hard to explain or to, oh, I love that. It's the Ace of Cups. This is the time where we're needing to fill our cups. We're needing to find where our resources, collective resource. We're moving into Aquarius season, and Aquarius is more about the collective. It's less about self. It's more about the innovation of a grander plan. What that means for you, a lot of Aquarius is getting hit here this week. So wherever Aquarius lands in your chart is going to have a really direct focus, because there's a new moon, because there's, the sun shifting into Aquarius. There's so many things happening in Aquarius. Some of those other transits too are in Aquarius. So it's really like, wow, what righteously needs innovation and change, and for the collective, not just for yourself. And the good news about Aquarius is that it's the water bearer. It's an air, it's in air, but it is the water bearer. So it's almost like this multi-talented, beautiful sign that knows how to look at a bigger picture in a different way. And so when I hear that, I think of new solutions, things that we didn't see before, being pointed in directions that we haven't been pointed in before. And it's all about resource. It's all about where we're getting resource. It's about where our world is finding resource. It's about how under-resourced we're starting out from and where to go from there. So it's going to feel good because it's going to feel different. And I don't know about you, but I could use some different. I could use the energy to just like shift a little bit, because I don't know that I've been relating to the energy lately. I've wanted to disconnect. I've wanted to remove myself. And really the only way to find solutions is when we engage ourselves and when we actually think about what it is we need to be resourced. And we've had a lot of serious energy. We've had a lot of setbacks. We've had a lot of exhaustion. We've had a lot of sickness, this being the first big go around, without masks and things. And so we're all exposed to all of the old and new icks that are going around. And so, it almost feels like we've been ravaged by space and time lately, just in the sense that we haven't been able to move forward really that much. And I love that the week starts in this very inspiring time, this inspiring day of Martin Luther King Day, because it's about freedom and what that means, and what does it mean for you, and how do you collectively in your own family unit and in the community that you're trying to build, how do we all work for a better purpose? And I feel that that's been up in my community. I feel that that has been up in general. If we're not all working together, then how do we form our own separate unions with the universe to find solutions? Things aren't always going to go the way that we think they should go. So when that happens, how do we build worlds within worlds inside of ourselves that are resourced enough not only to stick up for ourselves, but to stick up and innovate how we're seeing our collective experience? Aquarius season is so perfect for that, because Aquarius doesn't have an attachment to outcome. It's community based, it's friendship, it's technology, it's all of those things that help us innovate and find something new, some different way of doing things. Sylvia's so here for this. She's like, hell yeah. I agree, Sylvia. It's time. I could use forward momentum. And even if that means we're having to look into the Pluto energy, even that, if that means we're having to accept that it is an intense time, that things aren't always going 100% our way, or we have to make big, broad stroke changes to how we're doing things, at least we're changing them, doing them, having the urge to move forward again instead of being so stuck and still, which is how I've really seen the energy lately. It's just been kind of a drag for me anyway. I don't know. Maybe some people see this energy and are able to work with it in a more subtle way than I've been able to work with it. But I feel that this week is going to be the starter, the igniter of what's going to be next for you, for us, for everything. And this cup is a great place to start, because I really look at it in context to how we're talking as our own cups. No one can draw from an empty well. So now it's time to fill back up, find inspiration. What is going to make you show up for yourself today and this week? What are the things that you want to bring and draw in? How do you want your world to be different? Because now is the time to do that. Now is the time to dream about that. Now is the time to start planting dream seeds, because in new moons, we love dream seeds. In new moons, it's so wonderful to say, but what if this was different? But what if? And that's really this beautiful cup being filled with our dreams, with our hopes, with our desire for righteous shifting, because we're always doing that. But in wintertime, it's not the time for, forward action and movement. It's more the time for this psychological soul shifting and movement. It's really time to sit and light our candles and snuggle our kitties and see how we can do it better. Sometimes we can't do it better, and accepting that and recommitting to who and what we want and how we want to righteously shift and change ourselves. And if you don't want to, why is that? What is working for you right now and why? Though I do think that this week is going to surprise you, going to surprise us, because things are going to come to the surface that weren't so available to us previously. It's almost like we don't know where to go if we don't go there. We don't know what we don't know. And I think that that's a very interesting concept, because when we make mistakes, the most forgiving thing we can do for ourselves is say we did the best we could with who we were back then. And that growth and the hope is that we'll do better next time. That's what I really feel like this week is, this opportunity to be done with the retrospective of all the things that maybe we've done wrong, or all the things that we aren't feeling very good about, and be able to say, now how do I want to do it better, different? Because I can do that if I want to. And hopefully you want to. And hopefully the energy is here to support you instead of feeling ungrounding, because so much change. Uranus is here. Aquarius is here. Hello, that's loads of change, but it's not bad change. It's going to feel refreshing and good. It's like, isn't it enough? It's time. We're taking ourselves too serious. We're at an all-time low, and we need to start the ladder climb again, slowly, psychically, spiritually. It's not time to go run a marathon or anything like that, but it's time to imagine what the marathon of our lives is shaping up to be. Like, what is the next race? What is the next, pillar you want to get to that's going to lead you to your next? These are all really important questions, and I don't feel that we've had enough resource or access to ourselves to be able to sort these things out with Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, Uranus retrograde. It's just been so much retrograde that it's just so glorious now, and we're going to feel that shift of things going direct. Things are going to blow up more in spring, for sure, but this is the first inkling of, oh, okay, universe, I see you, boo, okay. And I love seeing that cup there, because really that's what I think of. It comes down to like what we want to build, resource, and fill ourselves back up with going forward. I so very much hope that this week feels hopeful, that this week feels inspiring, that all of the sudden there's an aha moment of like, oh, I see how I'm supposed to move, what I'm supposed to do. My brain, oh, sorry, kitty. My brain has been molasses this week. It's last week particularly, it's just been really hard for me to find any kind of solution that's working for me. Huh, Sylvia? It's been hard. It's been a time. I've been going through a time. And I look forward to whatever the universe has to show me, because I'm ready for different. I'm ready for more. I'm ready for something that's going to help unlock this very stuck state that I've been in. And I'm hoping that for you too. Please like and subscribe my page. It is certainly how I continue to be able to make these videos, and lets me know that I am working with you instead of into the great void. Thank you so much for watching, and I so hope that with a new moon, with Uranus direct, with Mars direct, with Mercury direct, that all of the sudden there are some insights that, even if they're painful, or even if they're hard, or even if they're hard to look at, brings righteous, new, unexpected solutions, because that's what Uranus wants for us going direct. It's like the aha moment of, you could have never gotten here unless you've been where you just were. And I love that for us, and I love that for you.